Hello and welcome to Free LA. I want to get started with this page because, especially if you're new, this might be a little confusing. You're going to hear different names for the school. You'll hear Youth Build Charter School of California, Free LA High School, and Youth Justice Coalition. When we get back to the actual site, you also will hear Chuco's center. So basically, yes, this school is supported by many community organizations with the purpose of serving our most precious community members and future leaders, which is basically young people like yourself. So in this video, I'm going to focus on the YCSC or Youth Build Charter School of California student accounts. And what do we need the student accounts? Well, this will allow you to actually use the electronic educational tools that you borrow, such as laptops, desktops, and tablets if you have tablets. Also, you have access to a Gmail account, which is going to be your user's name. And this is good because you have added abilities with this student Gmail account. You have the ability to store more data. You have additional apps at no cost to you. In addition, it also will allow you access to applications and platforms that you'll be using for distance learning, such as Schoology, Google Classroom, Zoom. You can use your school account for Zoom. Edpuzzle for sure, which is a platform that I use especially and Sir Bailey might use also in his English or social studies class. And then Newsella, which is another platform for, to submit assignments. So this is going to be important for you to have your student account in order to have access and submit assignments. So when do we use it? Well, you're going to use it to log into your school laptop. This is very important because last trimester, a couple of students used to call me and say, okay, well, Mr. Trigo, I can't see your Google slide that you posted, or I can't open the Google documentation that you posted. It's asking me for access. And that is because you didn't log in on the school laptop with your student account that we're going to be talking about today. So make sure that if you borrow a laptop from the school, that you log in with your school account. And if you're not added as a user, you can add yourself as a user. We can create another video for that. Definitely that's going to be important because you will be able to, again, access any Google Docs or Google Slides that are produced by the school. Also, you'll need to use the main platform for learning, distance learning, which is Schoology. You also need it for your Google Drive, which is where you're going to store your documents. And you may need it if we ask you to take, tests or school surveys. So what is my user's name or Gmail address? So the user's name is basically a Gmail address. So first, let me talk about the format, the general rule for the format for most of you, because not everybody is going to follow this format. Some people have very unique formats. So, but most of you will have this basically will have this format. So first is you're going to be the first step is going to be your first name, all lowercase, followed by a dot. And remember, there is a dot, followed by a last name, which is lowercase, followed by 01. This is also easily missed. And then followed by @youthbuildcharter.org. And this can be misspelled. So double check your spelling. I know this is a long Gmail account, and it doesn't look like a Gmail account, but it is a Gmail account with the school name, which is Youthville Charter School of California. But it's too long, so we just have youthvillecharter.org as the body of the Gmail account. Okay, so let's give an example. So let's say we have a student named Jesus Trigo. So first, we're going to have the first name Jesus, all lowercase, followed by a dot. Don't forget that. Followed by last name, all lowercase, followed by 01. 01. Don't forget, there's a 01 after your last name. And then followed by at, and I forgot the at, youthvillecharter.org. And again, it's all lowercase. When we put it together, there's no space. So let's look at the bottom here. I'm going to highlight it if I can. Oops, I can. Let me go back. So all together is Jesus.trigo01. Remember, this is all going to be lowercase at youthvillecharter.org. This is going to be your user's name or Gmail account, or your Gmail also. What about the password? And what's the format for most of you? Again, this is for most of you, but this is just the general rule. Some of you are going to have very unique passwords. So first, we use your last name, but in this case, we're going to capitalize, for most of you, we're going to capitalize your first letter in your last name, followed by your birth year, and it has to be 4 digits, then followed by your birth month, which has to be 2 digits, and then followed by your birthday, which has to be 2 digits. So we put it all together, no space, no dot on this one. So let's look at basically an example of the student Jesus Trigo, who was born on November 4th, 1971. So first is the last name, first letter is capitalized. Birth year was 1971. Birth month was November, which is month 11. And then birthday is 4, but we have to have 2 digits. So we have to put a 0 in front of the 4 to satisfy the format. So altogether we have Trigo, capital T, 1971, 1104. So note, some of you may have your first last name lowercase, but again, for most of you, the general rule is your first letter in your last name is going to be capitalized. All right. So how do we get the user's name and password information? Well, after Warrior Week, you will get your users and password as you also get your schedule. So towards the end of Warrior Week, or if you're enrolling in the middle of the trimester, basically immediately after you turn in all the paperwork and you get a schedule, you will also receive your user's name and password. Remember, this format is the general rule, but some of you might have very unique user's name and password. That's why it's very important to get the actual information from Ms. Natalie when you enroll, because this might not be the format of your users and password for you. Also, please note not to change your passwords if you forget it. So if you forget it, I know on Schoology there is an option to click on if you forgot your password, and it will allow you to change your password. The problem is that once you change your password, you actually lose access to all school materials. This can create a problem for you and for all of us because we will have to request a reset from the school district, which may take a while. So you don't want to lose any time. So if you forget your password, just contact Natalie or your teachers, myself included. And we have that information. We can text it back to you. We can email it to you, but do not change your password. All right, and this concludes our presentation.